They are the tip of the spear. They are the soldiers who go where no one else can go. They do the missions no one else can do. And since we first heard those fateful words, welcome to Tbilisi, gentlemen, we have been following their adventures around the world. Now, the Ghost's next adventure is the hugely anticipated, wildly ambitious Ghost Recon Wildlands. And here to talk to us about it, narrative director Sam Strackman. Sam, come on up, man.
Hey, Richard, how's it going, man? How you doing?
How you doing?
How's it going? Hey, guys, how's it going? Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for talking to me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Thanks.
So, first things first, what does a narrative director do?
On Ghost Recon, the focus of the narration is really about working very closely with the art teams, with the design teams, with the sound teams, with everyone. And of course, we're creating characters, we're creating stories, but a huge amount of what we're doing is about creating a world that people want to explore. A big immersive world with different stories. You know, the idea behind narration on Ghost Recon Wildlands isn't one story, it's 100 different stories, you know?
Cool. Yeah, you're taking Ghost Recon out of those really tightly constrained battle spaces that we've always had with the game and taking it out into this open world, something completely new. But at the same time, you're holding tight to authenticity, which has always been one of the hallmarks of the Ghost Recon brand.
Definitely. You know, before we even put anything down on paper, we really wanted to think about what it means to be Clancy, right? So what we kind of realized is that every single book, every single movie, every single game really comes down to this question of what if, right? What if in the near future this were to happen? What if a virus broke out in New York City? What if Russia invaded Georgia, you know? For us, that question is, what if a Mexican drug cartel moved into Bolivia and took over cocaine production?
I'm pretty sure Julian can answer what if a virus hit New York,
Sure.
but I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But so why Bolivia?
So Bolivia is a beautiful country. It's so many different ecosystems and terrains, and they have this rich history and this incredible culture. They're also one of the largest producers of coca leaf in the world, which is used to make cocaine. The thing, though, about Bolivia is that most of the people there, the vast majority of people are not using coca to make cocaine, right? They're using it for medicine. They're using it to fight altitude sickness. They're using it, they use it to make teas. They use it for toothpaste, you know?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've seen the world, and it is amazing. You have this beautiful scenery, all its variations, jungle, desert, mountains, all these ecosystems. It is fantastic. And to get that level of detail, you really can't just do that with online searches. You got to go there. You got to put your feet on the ground and see it for real. So what did the team do?
So we sent a whole bunch of guys from our team down to Bolivia for 2 weeks. They talked to locals. They talked to politicians. They talked to shaman. They talked to journalists. They explored. They went to all the different. Here's the Salt Flats right here. They drove along the Death Road. You know, there's a famous road there where more people die on this road than anywhere else in any other road in the world. They went to all these places. They went to the place where Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid supposedly died. You know, and they just really got to explore the country.
Okay, cool. And why don't we take a look at a little bit of what they saw?
Cool.
Besides Salt Flats.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So, you know, of course, you know, that footage is from the real Bolivia, but it really helped us inform, like, how to build the game, you know? We have, in the game, you have more than 11 different ecosystems. You have deserts, you have mountains, you have swamps, you have rivers, I mean, and why that's interesting is because you get to play with these different terrains. You know, they change your play style, they change your tactics. It also helped to inform our plot for the game. You know, basically what happens is there's this country and they're rich in coca, and the Santa Blanca drug cartel moves in and they take over a huge chunk of the country and they turn it into a narco state.
Okay, so what sort of research did you have to do to build the cartel as a believable antagonist in this game?
Yeah, so we talked to a ton of researchers, to experts, to different journalists, guys, authors, bloggers. You know, everyone we possibly could.
Cool.
Yeah. And that sort of led us to create all the different characters in the cartel, but it also helped us to create the
structure?
The structure, yeah. Basically, sort of we wanted to model them after a criminal organization, a real criminal organization. So the way it breaks down is you have 4 operations in the game. You have, of course, if you're a drug cartel, you need a product. So that's everything from the coca leaf, the production of the harvesting of the coca leaf, the turning it into coca paste, packaged white powder. Once you have your product, you need to get it to your consumers, and that's where this woman over here, Nydia Flores, the beauty queen, comes in. So she's sort of a master of trafficking. She's this genius when it comes to smuggling. So she's using planes, she's using trains, automobiles, everything. But she's also using drug mules. There's narco submarines in the game, you know, and she's the one who's behind all that. So of course, once you have your drugs going out, your money coming in, you need to protect your investment. And that's the security operation. So that's all the ex-police, the ex-military that have been hired by the cartel. They're armed, they're being armed by the cartel, they're being trained, and they're also the death camps of the cartel. So anyone who goes up against the cartel, they send security after them. Last but not least, you have this dude over here, El Cardinal, and he's in charge of the influence operation. So influence is the propaganda machine in the cartel. It's how they're winning over the hearts and minds of the people and instilling loyalty in their own members. So it's everything from the music, the narco corridos, it's the religion that they're using, they take over radio stations to spread their message. It's how really they're trying to convince everyone to come onto their side.
Okay, so 4 sections of the cartel, 4 heads of those sections, but there's got to be somebody in charge. Who's the big boss?
So that's the guy right there in the middle. So this is El Sueño, the boss of bosses, and he's at the top.
Okay.
So I believe we have some audio.
I offer the people a choice, to follow me or oppose me. If you follow me, I feed your families, give you shelter, medicine, and jobs. Shield you from the tyrants. Allow La Santa Muerte to protect you from death. I give you power. I make you rich. But most of all, I let you rule like kings. But for those that oppose me, I have only one thing to offer. A promise. To take everything you love and destroy it in front of your eyes.
So that's El Sueño.
Okay, so just so I don't get on his bad side, what do I need to know about this guy?
Sure, yeah. So when we were creating El Sueño, we wanted him to be sort of this mix of contradictions. We wanted him to be this business genius who has this massive knowledge of these trafficking networks and these cocaine routes and all this. But he's extremely violent, you know? He's extremely religious, but he's also completely ruthless. So this is a guy who tells everyone that Santa Muerte, the holy saint of death, is talking directly in his ear. And throughout the course of the game, you're wondering, so is he really crazy? Is he really out of his mind? Or is he just this master manipulator? And we really did that with all of our characters. We really wanted these sort of contradictions in, we call it the gray zone, right? We don't want anyone to be like good and bad, or good guys and bad guys. We want sort of to see both sides of everyone. Another example is the El Pozolero, who's in the demo that a lot of people have been playing at E3. And El Pozolero is, he's this really innocent guy. He doesn't hurt anyone. He's never killed anyone. But also his job is to melt dead bodies for the cartel, right? So he's, he feels bad about it, but that's his job,
Okay, so we talked about the cartel. Let's talk about the ghosts.
Yeah.
Why are they on this mission?
All right, the ghosts. So yeah, the ghosts are a special operations team. They're U.S. Army, and they are sent in behind enemy lines to dismantle the relationship between Santa Blanca and the local members of the local corrupt government.
Okay. And I know, trying to build these characters for your game, you talk to a lot of real deal operators, and you work closely with Red Storm Entertainment, which is the studio I am proud to call home, and which originated the Ghost Recon franchise.
Yeah. So the authenticity team at Red Storm was a tremendous help. They put us in touch with the real life operators and the real guys. So we got to hear how they speak. We got to hear how they think. They took us on training exercises. We got to clear rooms. It was amazing to just hear these stories from these guys who had worked in this area, who had worked in South America, but also in Bolivia.
So in a lot of ways, you really went deeper with this than maybe any other video game has before.
We definitely tried our best, yeah.
Yeah. And so who are the ghosts?
So the ghosts they're U.S. Army, but they're selected. Sorry, but they're selected from the members are selected from units and branches of numerous other sort of locations. So you'll have guys from MARSOC, you have guys Rangers, you have SEALs, But it really is they have a vast array of skills and abilities.
Okay. Cool. So these are not your ordinary operators. These are the best of the best?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The other thing that's interesting is specifically about special operations is these guys are the ones on the ground. They're doing the planning, right? All the way back to the very first Ghost Recon games and the real special operations guys, they're planning out their own operations, right? They're also, for them, credit is failure. These aren't the kind of guys who go and do a mission and then go and talk on CNN. Nobody knows they exist. Their own government doesn't know they exist. Even most of the military doesn't know they exist.
So one of the things that's always been really fun about Ghost Recon games is the gear.
Yeah.
So what's the new stuff the ghosts are going to be taking to the field this time?
Yeah, so you're going to have a ton of gear, you're going to have a ton of different tools to play with, there's going to be a ton of customization, a gunsmith is coming back, but also... but also you be able to completely customize your character, You make your character look however you want. You can be a male, you can be female, you can be any ethnicity, you can be, make your character... hair, everything's completely up to you,
Awesome. The thing about the gear, though, is it doesn't matter how good the gear is if you don't know how to use it. What sort of tactics are we going to be seeing?
Sure. So something else that we wanted to go back to when it comes to the origins of Ghost Recon and also the real life guys is this idea of autonomy, of freedom, right? Is the idea that you're the one who are making these choices on the ground. Like it's up to you to decide how you do the missions.
Okay, cool. So really, the choices that I make as a player matter.
Absolutely. So one thing that's kind of cool about this game is we have more than 100 story missions, and you can play them in any order you want, right? That's completely up to you how you, and the world is open from the very beginning. Like you start the game, nothing is locked for you, right? The whole thing is open.
Okay, very cool. Now, to remind the folks out there watching on Twitch, last chance to get your questions in, but now we're going to take a look at some of those choices in action.
Cool.
I offer the people a choice. To follow me or oppose me. If you follow me, I feed your families, give you shelter, medicine, and jobs. Shield you from the tyrants. allow La Santa Muerte to protect you from death. I give you power. I make you rich. But most of all, I let you rule like kings. But for those that oppose me, I have only one thing to offer. A promise. To take everything you love and destroy it in front of your eyes.
It's all yours.
Got it.
Ghost, hit the money, hit the drugs, then hit the king.
I'd say that's looking pretty good.
Cool, thanks.
And I cannot wait to get my hands on it. You guys ready for this? So, March 7th, 2017,
March 7th.
that's when we're going to be able to play this. Okay, thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, guys.